Hey everyone, have you ever heard of your psoas muscle? Listen, if your lower back gets tight, and often it's because, well, either you're really active and not stretching enough, but especially if you're sitting a lot or standing a lot, this psoas muscle attaches into your lower back. It's one of the hip flexor muscles. So it runs from the front of your leg into your lower back area, and we miss it all the time when we're stretching. So I'm going to show you a way that you can integrate it into your lunges, warrior, and whether the lunge is on the ground or in the chair. And it's a game changer. So you could bring it into your practice and focus on it a little bit and balance it out with some forward bends. Before we begin, especially if you're in a cold climate, I want you to make sure that you're warmed up. So whether you take like a 10-minute walk or you're doing this after a few sun salutations, you want to make sure your muscles aren't cold when you're stretching them deeply, and you also want to make sure that that you don't catch a chill after you've stretched. So, after a yoga class or, you go to the gym, make sure you bundle up a little bit, okay? All right, so let me show you a really easy way to find your psoas muscle, all right? So go ahead and stand with your feet hip distance apart. Take one step forward with your right foot and one step back with your left foot. We're not lining up our heel with our arch. We're having a little bit of space. So if you're on a wood floor, there's 2 or 3 panes between. Your back foot, turn in slightly to a 45-degree angle. Your right foot's facing forward. And you want to make sure that your hips are square. So right hip back and left hip forward. And then this is it. Tuck your tail under and pull your belly in. You should already be able to feel a stretch through the front of your left hip. And then go ahead and bend that right knee and it will intensify it. Make sure you can still see your toes beyond your knee so that your knee's at a 90-degree angle. And then this is your warrior, whether your hands are on your hips, your arms are alongside your ears, intertwined. You're focusing on your hips being square forward and your tail tucked and your belly pulled in. So that way, when you're doing the warrior pose, you're not overarching your back. You're tucking your tail under and it's flatter. That way you're getting that stretch from the front of your leg into your lower back. The same thing when you're doing a lunge. Tuck your tail, pull your belly in, have your shoulders over your hips, whether it's a low lunge or a high lunge. So do that to each side, and then make sure that you balance it out with a forward bend of your choice, whether it is child's pose, or let me show you my favorite forward bend on the chair. If you've never done this before, just make sure you're sitting on the edge of your chair. You can see your toes beyond your knees. Okay, feet are hip distance apart, knees are hip distance apart, and then you can see your toes beyond your knees. You're bending forward, bringing your elbows onto your knees and letting your chin drop to your chest. You could release your arms between your legs. And when you come out, you're rolling up slowly, keeping your chin to your chest until you roll up through your neck vertebrae. Balance it out with that, or a nice child's pose, but integrate that little pelvic tilt when you are working with your warrior pose, and it'll make all the difference in your lower back. So have fun exploring that. Balance out from being on your feet, whether you're making holiday cookies or shopping, and see you next time. Namaste.